today on the sawmill, got an old pine log that's been laying here years. Whatever you see behind the sawmill, there's a stack over. It's been staked up there for years. I think it's still okay. I'm gonna saw it up right here in just a minute, open it up, see kind of what's going on the inside. Hopefully it's still good. I'm gonna build a couple of benches for a friend of mine, so if this is still good inside, this is what we're going to use, because I really like the look of the pine ones with the knots and stuff. To me it looks a lot better. But anyway, we'll in this video we'll saw this up and build us a couple benches out of this, and hopefully they turn out okay. So let's get at it. So you can see on this log here, I've cut this limb off. Apparently got into it way too much with the chainsaw. Don't really remember, but anyway, we're going to turn this piece or this side up just because of that, so we can saw it off in our slab, and hopefully we'll still have enough knots on it to make it look pretty. So let's get this turned. Alright, so I got the log turned kind of the way I want it. I'm gonna clamp it down right there, so you can kind of tell all the limbs kind of clustered up this side and not a whole lot on this side. But where I cut this off, I wanted to put it on top and slab it off, so I'm gonna lose a lot of the branches, but I don't guess that really matters. But the pith is pretty well centered up. It's not off by much, so we will get rid of the pith when we do this, but let's clamp it down and make the first cut here. think I might be running out of gas. I can see it moving about right there, so put some gas in it. So let's see what it looks like under this slab. It very well could be rotted out, I don't know. So there's some rot. There's some rot. Let's go on down a little bit deeper and see what we got. May not be any good. All that's rotted. Let's take another cut. I don't think these logs are good for anything. You can see how soft it is there. Yeah, I've let these lay too long. Alright, so we will get this off the sawmill and grab a different log. So yeah, I was hoping I could use them because they've been laying there the longest. But yeah, it ain't much good for anything. Man, might get a little bit of something out of the middle if you wanted to there, but yeah, I don't need anything that size right now. So we'll pick up another one of these pine logs and see what we got. So back on the sawmill. Been a few weeks since the first log you see me put on here to saw up. So just finally got back around to doing this. That log was too rotted. So this log has been on the ground for a while too, but it's not as bad. I'm just trying to clean up around here and use up some of these logs before they get too bad. But anyway, gonna make a bench out of this, and I'm hoping that it's going to be wide enough because a little bit of rot on the outside edge, not bad, just a little bit. If I can save it, I'll leave the live edge, but it's a little bit punky in a few spots, so it might not be worth doing that. We might have to just square it up, so we'll see as we get into this, but so what's on the list for today to do, so we're going to do it. And it's about 6.5 feet long. Well, I cut this about 7, but we're gonna, once we square it up, it'll be about 6.5 feet long. May can get some legs out of this, may not, so we might have to turn to another log to saw us out some feet. So let's get this going. Gavin over there doing some plasma cutting, so if you hear some noise or some music in the background, that's probably what it is. Alright, so what I'm doing here is, this is kind of the worst part of the log. So you can see it's a little bit soft here. So I'm going to cut this off with my first opening cut. And I don't know how the rest of this will be. I'm hoping it's okay, but if not, we'll just deal with it then. But anyway, this is kind of the widest part of the log. So I thought of doing this a couple different ways. I don't want to leave the pith in the bench, but I may, if it makes me a better bench. So if I cut the pith out, you know, I'm going to make the bench a lot smaller. So, you know, it was only going to be, you know, maybe 11, 12 inches wide if I do it that way. But if I center the pith up, you know, I'm going to have a much wider bench. So I think that's probably what we're going to do and hope for the best. I don't think these pine logs split as bad with the pith being in the bench. Now these oak ones seem to, but I made a few pine ones and they didn't split, so I don't want to, but I'll probably leave that in there. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up, see what it looks like. Alright, so what we're doing now is, you can see now wire weird the edge of this board here, and it's kind of rotted. So this side's pretty good. The other side's a little punky. This got some in it, but so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna saw it off square now. So I cut about 1 inch off right here, which will end up being a little more on that end because it's wider, but we'll end up with about a 14-inch wide bench here. So at least we won't have no rod in it. So let's get this cut. No. I see it now. What did I do? Gavin? Huh? You unplug my mat thing. Good job. Gavin, I'm gonna start showing pictures on my phone. So I sanded it a little bit. You can see how fuzzy it is. That blade was a little bit dull, so it's caused some of that. But anyway, I'm going to square this up and cut it off. And I'm going to make it about 6.5 feet long. And if you're wondering why, so I can put it in the bed of my truck and shut the tailgate. So that should fit. Let's get this cut, and hopefully we'll cut some legs out of there quick and get it all put together here pretty soon. almost makes it through. So now I'll measure and mark this side before I flip it over. We'll say 6'6". Hopefully that'll work. Honestly, don't know if my tailgate will shut with that or not, but that's what I'm hoping anyway. I hope that lines up. Now cross your fingers. I run off the line a little bit, but I was feeling it, and it's off just a little bit, so maybe we can shave that down here in a second. Yeah. So you can see how much that's off. It's just a little bit right there. This side's the worst one. We'll try to shave that off. Yeah, not too bad. I believe we can sand that a little bit and get it. Now let's cut out some legs. It's about time for a new blade. Not bad at all. I believe we can work with that. All right, let's line this thing up, see how it looks. We'll sand the edges here in a second. So I've just got them sitting on there, but that's kind of what we're going for. Is stepped in 3 or 4 inches from the edge, and maybe about 1.5 inches on each end like that. So yeah. So now we'll sand, or use the grinder probably on this, get rid of this unevenness here, so it'll sit good and flat against the ground and the bench. We'll put some screws in it. Let's do it. Well, that's actually better than I thought. That sits pretty good. A little bit of wobble in that one. That's pretty good right there. We'll use that in. Yeah. Looking good. Let's screw this thing down now. Okay, so I got this thing sitting where I want it. 3.5 inches from the edge here roughly, and 1.5 inches on the sides. So what I'm going to do is mark this so I can line it back up if need be, if I move it. There we go. So now I'm going to drill 3 holes here, and I'm going to use these 6-inch GRKs, kind of at an angle, so should hold it on there pretty good. So let's mark where we're going to drill these holes and drill some holes. So I want it to come out roughly in the middle. So that's kind of the angle we need to follow. So it looks like 2 3/4. So there, and this is 11 inches. So there's the middle. I actually hit that one pretty close. Then we'll come in, say 2 inches from each end. Should be close enough. So we marked them all pretty close. So now that'll hold our angle, so we can hopefully match this one up to the roughly the same angle. There we go. Now what I'll do is run these in, and they're gonna move this a little bit because they'll squish out some sawdust. And then we'll take them back loose and sand it down and line them back up. Seems to be the best way I've found to do it so far. So it's moving just a little bit. So that's what we'll do. We'll take it loose, sand it, and screw it back down. Hopefully it'll tighten it up a little bit. Let's see if you can see what I'm talking about here. Barely can see it. I don't know if you can see it on there or not, but it's enough to bug me, so I'm going to fix it. So just a little bit of swell at each one of those is all it is. And that's enough to cause it to wobble just a little. It seems to be worse on the oak. I don't know if it just where it's a tougher wood or what, but it always seems to be worse. So I'll line that back up with my pencil marks. And hopefully it goes back in the same spot. There we go. Let's stick the other one down now. So let's see. That's pretty square. And the blade on this end is 1.5 inches. You can see that's pretty darn good. So yeah, we'll take that. So now we'll mark this inside. And I'll put a couple little reference marks. That way we can line it back up if we need to. And now let's mark and drill the holes on this thing. What'd I say, 2 3/4? Yeah, 2 3/4. Let's see what's going to come in about 2 inches. There we go. We'll say 5.5 roughly for the middle. We'll come in 2 inches and 2 inches. And that's the holes we need. And then we'll line this screw up just to kind of get our angle. About right there somewhere. Close enough. We'll do it like we did that other one. Kind of keep us sort of straight. Now let's run these down, see if it wobbles. Probably will. I can't even get this one to move. I'm gonna call this one good. Let's tighten these up just a fuzz more and we're done on that. There we go. Now I'm gonna sand this and we're gonna round the corners off and we're gonna leave it unfinished. That way the people I'm giving it to can finish it the way they want to. I know it's a little rough. You can see how it's fuzzy, and that was from a dull blade on the sawmill. Didn't realize it was that dull until I got kind of into it. That's why I don't want to mismatch it now, so I just run with it. But yeah, they can sand all that off. Be good. Let's round the edges off now. There's what we ended up with. I think it's about, what I say, 6'4.5" or 6'4". Yeah, I think I cut it 6'4". And overall it's 16 inches high. So yeah, should do pretty good for a long time. It'll be out of the weather. I think it'll be on a covered porch. So yeah, should be good for years to come. I think they, well, I'll say they might, but maybe they'll stain it or finish it out somehow. So yeah, if not, it looks good. I like it. If they don't like it, I'll just keep it. Yeah, let's get on something else.
here. Whoo! It's cold. And a mother. Whoo! It's cold.